Georgia W Tush Classique Georgia W Tush here in beautiful Montreal, Quebec, Canada. I'm Bobby Narco. I'm going to be joined on the broadcast by Private Stacks. He is getting some stuff together right now, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about the teams we are seeing. Arch rival Roller Derby, they are the All-Stars without a hyphen. They came into the tournament 9-2, but after losses to Victoria on Friday, 135 to 115, and a loss yesterday to Gotham, 156 to 121, they're now 9-4. They are ranked 4th by the Flat Track Derby Association, and the teams that beat them are higher ranked, so, they, no shame there in losing to higher ranked opponents, and in fact, very good battles both times. They are going to be joined by the Helsinki Roller Derby All-Stars with a hyphen. They came into the tournament 5-4. They are now 6-6. On Thursday, they lost to Victoria in the number 2 seed, 293 to 93. On Friday, they lost to Montreal, the number 6 seed, 199 to 166. And on Saturday, an upset, they beat Jacksonville, the 10th seed, number 236 to 111. So they are now 6-6 on the year. They are ranked 19th by the Women's Flat Track Derby Association. Our producer today is going to be Biff Mix-a-Lot. And running the production for Nerd Derby Productions, we have Chad and Beth. Just about a minute before Nerd Derby Productions, part of New England Roller Derby Report. Y'all set there, Private Stacks?
I'm so ready. I've had a coffee. I've had a Monster energy drink. I'm up way earlier than I usually am on a Sunday, and I'm just ready for some roller derby.
Awesome. We got about 47 seconds. Can you take us really quickly through the Arch Rival Roller Derby roster?
Sure can. Skating for Arch Rival this morning, it's going to be 10:57. Shira Powers, 121. Smarty McFly, 14. Loki Doki, 15. Bolt Action, 1853. Vicious Van Go-Go, 1900. Cloak and Dragger, 23. Thestral, 4. Jedi Nightingale, 48. Bricktator, 500. Ace, 567. Splatter, 618. Cruella Belleville, 68. Swanson, 718. Lux Furious, and 810 K Woodward, and it's going to be Bricktator wearing the C for the Arch Rival Roller Derby All-Stars.
Coaches for Arch Rival are Code Adam. He'll be wearing the A and the Saint. And don't have time to take you through Helsinki. We'll do that after the next set of whistles, but we're about ready to get underway.
I'm excited.
Me too. Bricktator the jammer. Bricktator going to be jamming for Arch Rival. Captain. And waiting to see, from our vantage point, we have to wait and see the jams on the scoreboard. Oh, they had multiple jammers out on the line. That's why they were fooling the jam tiners. That's going to be Malu jamming. And Bricktator picked up lead.
I was going to say, it doesn't matter how many jammers they put out on the line. It didn't seem to fool Bricktator or slow her down at all. It was just coming out of turn 1 there. Bricktator lead jammer, and ready to score points very quickly.
4 points in the pocket.
We have a star pass already to number 257 on Helsinki. That is Vega.
Little collision there. Bricktator runs into Roots the line and comes around the outside.
Points already on the board, 4 for Arch Rival. Now Vega still on the initial.
I was going to say that Arch Rival just managed to fill up that tripod right at the top of the pack just in time.
Multiplayer block sends number 85, Lattikainen, to the penalty box for Helsinki.
Just one blocker to get past. That was, don't want to mess up the name here. I can't. Nina Ervis.
Yes.
Was the last blocker to get back. I was going to mispronounce the W, and then I was like, nope, that's a V sound in Finnish.
Nice. So 3 scoring passes and going back for more here in jam number 1. Nice block at the top of the pack by number 77, Rutsolainen. Second penalty of the game is a multiplayer. First penalty on Arch Rival, number 1900. That is Cloak and Dragger.
Attempted apex jump. Bricktator, however, nudged. Has to recycle back into the starting area.
Now the penalty coming in, illegal position. That's number 85, Lattikainen. Pack strung out all the way from turn 1 to turn 2, all across that apex. Now coalescing in turn number 2.
Bricktator just finding that line up the inside. losing her footing somehow without anybody around her. When there were people around her, she couldn't get taken off her skates at all, but no one near her, and she lost some footing. 20-0 jam for the arch rivals. That's exactly the kind of statement you want to make early on in the game. We were actually talking about this yesterday, these early morning games possibly playing a little bit to Helsinki's favor because it's actually the afternoon for them.
Sure. Although they've been here for several days.
Due to the time
change. Probably have had
But all their games have been in the morning, all the same.
True.
They've been playing in the morning all weekend long.
Also a benefit to the Helsinki fans. I promise I will take you through the Helsinki roster through the next set of whistles. Meanwhile, out on the line, it looks like we have Swanson up against Mia.
Or MIA. We're not entirely sure on that one. When you write it all in caps, I kind of feel it's MIA.
No, I talked to the coaches. It's Mia.
It is Mia?
Yes.
I heard her name was Mia, and that anyway.
It could be.
Exactly. I think it might be both.
But when I talked to the coaches, they said Mia.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with that.
Always a safe bet.
Yes. Yori would not lead me wrong. Oh, and Mia has a lead jam, so 2 jams in.
But got swallowed right back up in the pack. Still hasn't made any points scored. That is for a multi-person block.
So Salja Karjalainen.
And despite not being lead jammer, Swanson is picking up points for the arch rival Roller Girls.
Jam is called. Arch rival held scoreless. Let's get those points for Helsinki. While we're looking for those points, I'm going to take you through the Helsinki roster. Number 112 is Fuchs. Number 156 is Mia.
Fuchs.
I was told to say Fuchs.
I was told Fuchs by the bench staff yesterday.
Okay. Number 156, Mia. Number 22 is Malou. Number 24 is Kujala. Number 257 is Vega. Number 28 is Nina Erves. Number 39 is Mayurinna. Number 42 is Noki. Number 46 is Pentanen. Number 51 is Alu. Number 77 is Ruotsalainen. Number 85 is Lattakainen. Number 88 is Varpu Kanutila. Number 90 is Sala Karjalainen. Coaches are Yori, wearing the A, Taro, Yana, and Vivi. Oh, and the captain wearing the C, number 604, Sarah Ekholm.
And Loki Doki, while we were running through that rosters, was wasting no time picking up lead jammer position and scoring points. Helsinki getting into a little bit of penalty trouble right there. The penalty on Sala Karjalainen just expired. However, Loki Doki getting into some penalty trouble of her own. It's going to be a power jam for Varpu Nutsela. And picking up 4 points. And this jam sort of cracking that goose egg wide open, putting points on the board for the Helsinki All-Stars. Very close to incurring a couple of out-of-bound blocking penalties right there. The referee had signaled that the pack was in the back, but they let her go just in time to not invoke the ire of the Zebras.
No, Lex Furious picked up. You were very prescient on your observations there. Private Stacks. 718, Lux Furious went to the penalty box for illegal position. Both jammers have 8 points. Knutila. Oh, do we have no lead jam?
Yeah, well, Loki had it and lost it.
Gotcha. What was the penalty? Or did they take up the back block?
Mm-hmm.
White 2-8 forearm is the call. That's Erves, Nina.
Squeezing through, Loki comes out on a scoring pass.
Looks like this jam is going to run, of course, the full 2 minutes without a lead jammer. Advantage from either team running the full 2 minutes, and also, I guess more importantly, taking the Helsinki All-Stars from a single point up to 13. That jam, though, was a 12-12 wash, kind of a net zero gain on that. But all the same, I'd rather look up at a scoreboard and see a 13 than just a lonely little one.
Absolutely. Helsinki increased their score by 1,300%, and arch rival can increase their score by 50%. So, highest jam of the game for Helsinki.
I'm sure that's exactly what they're saying on the bench. They're like, we increased our score by 1,300%, guys.
There you go. And that's Kujala out on the jammer line for Helsinki, and
Jedi Nightingale, who's also the lead jammer. This has been almost absolute lead control, I believe, by the arch rival All-Stars. The only exception, I believe, there was that one jam where Mia became lead jammer, but then got swallowed right back up into the pack. So even where they had lead jammer, I believe it was a 4-0 jam in favor of our arch rivals.
Right. 4-1. Helsinki.
4-1, that's true. They did pick up the 1 point.
So each jam has seen one of the teams set their highest individual score. 20 points in jam number 1, the high mark for arch rival. 1 point in jam number 2 was the high mark until they got 12 the next jam. Track cut. Who's leaving? It's all the jammer. Back-to-back jams that are going to go 2 minutes.
Nina Irvis was very sure of that call. She was signaling the track cut.
Oh, we're going to star pass number 604, now donning the helmet cover. That's the captain, Sarah Ekholm.
Nina Irvis was signaling that track cut before the outside pack referee was even doing so. And turned out she was right. It doesn't always go that way when you see referees signaling penalty, or players signaling penalties to referees. They don't always get it right, as it were. But this time she was.
Nice block there at the back by number 23, Thestral. At the next stoppage of play, we're going to introduce you to our referees and non-skating officials. A 3-point pass, no penalty. And those points go to Sarah Ekholm. Or those points go to Helsinki, but Sarah gets credit for them.
There you go.
So, Jedi had 4 when she went into the penalty box.
And Ekholm picked up another 2, chipping 1 point away at that lead, bringing it down to 22 points. Still a respectable point differential between these two teams. Absolutely, Helsinki still hanging in there.
And it's an official review being called by Helsinki. So that's going to give us a stoppage of play. Let us introduce who the officials are.
Sure. Let's run through the list real quick. The officials for this match are going to be Princess Bitch, Ziggy Stardust, Prince. It's always there twice. Cat and Fomo, Red Bjaren, Agent of Wield, Locomotive, May the Force, Epic Phil, Chemical Restraint, Duraqueer, Lauren Order, Kilt Trip, Oliver Pist, Dr. Math, Yogi, and the Candyman.
All right. And our alternate ref today is Theminus Killjoy.
And they're, of course, doing that excellent job of officiating, refereeing, timekeeping,
yeah.
all of those things that make roller derby work. Sometimes when you see a first-time viewer sort of comes in and sees a whole slew of referees, you're usually used to seeing maybe 2 to 4 kind of skaters and officials in most sports. Roller derby has a bunch. And it's because there's all kinds of action going on, and you need a lot of eyes on the play and a lot of people kind of tracking the numbers and make sure everything is running smoothly.
4 on the infield, 3 on the outside.
And that's not counting your NSOs.
Right. All right. Those are just the people on skates. Mm-hmm. You have 3 NSOs in the penalty box. You have a whole phalanx of NSOs operating the scoreboard, telling the points, tallying the penalties, helping spotting. So it's quite a production. Takes a village to put on a derby bout.
Exactly.
But, again, the caliber of officiating here equal to the caliber of the teams. We have some of the best teams in the Women's Flat Track Derby Association. We have some of the best officials in the Women's Flat Track Derby Association. And thanks to head announcer Plastic Patrick, we have some of the best announcers in the Flat Track Derby Association.
I'm going to take a look. Once again, there's Helsinki's sending out 2 jammers. Don't know which one of them is actually going to be skating, but right now there's 2 of them on the track.
Stealing a page from the Victorian playbook. Let's send some love to Sociopath. New England Roller Derby Report would like to thank their production sponsor, Sociopath. They're a skater-run business offering custom sewn to order legwear for teams and individuals. They are size inclusive. Amen, amen. That is size inclusive activewear designed to fit you. Sociopath also offers dozens of brand of armbands and helmet covers for scrimmage and competition. Team discounts are available, so please go to Sociopath, that's SEWCIOPATH.ca for more details. Sociopath, a proud sponsor of Nerd Derby Productions, who is bringing you the feed. Are we on the Montreal Roller Derby website, Chad? And you are listening on the Montreal Roller Derby Facebook page.
Yeah, it's a live feed from the Montreal Roller Derby Facebook page. Yeah, I was going to say, some people were giving the Twitch link that I think you guys often stream out of.
And that was on our pre-printed study this material. So,
yeah, exactly, that's it. But this is actually...
But... Chad lets us know we had a firewall issue, so we couldn't get past the firewall.
But we can do so on Facebook, so.
That's because somebody in the IT department likes to use their Facebook account while at work.
That's it. As is often the case, sometimes when you're in the IT department at work, things like Twitter and Facebook are just magically unblocked because not everybody. Reddit often isn't blocked either. There's a couple websites that don't get blocked. They'll block things like Twitch and even sports websites and stuff, but some things just never seem to get blocked because the IT department just enjoys using them too much.
It's always funny when I look when I'm at work and I go to look up a website for a roller derby team. About half the time it'll say restricted adult content. And got to be some of the skater names is what's triggering that.
Absolutely. I think I work on a website here in Montreal, 9to5.cc. We have podcast, comics, all that sort of thing. And every job I've had, it hasn't started out blocked, but then it's ended up blocked, presumably because there's some foul language on that sort of circles around on the podcasts and a couple of not safe for work images that might pop up here and there in the blogs.
All right, we're getting the gist and the outcome of the official review. Vic Mitzelach's going to tell us, and then we'll tell you. But from the scoreboard, it looks like it will – oh, no, it's still flashing. Yeah. It'll be a plus if it's retained. It'll disappear if it's gone.
Taking a look also for a shout-out to another one of our announcer crew, Token Redshirt, who's giving Biff the lowdown.
Yeah.
And it's going to be Malou on the line for the Helsinki All-Stars and Jedi Nightingale for the arch-rival All-Stars.
All right, Helsinki was looking for an out-of-play call on an arch-rival blocker, but on further review, the no call stands.
Jedi Nightingale at the top of the pack. Nina Irvis couldn't slow her down. But Malou out like a rocket right after her, with her wings spread open like some kind of a bird of prey on Jedi Nightingale's tail. I don't know if that was maybe an allusion to the fact that she was a bird of prey and was chasing a nightingale who was a smaller bird. There might have been a whole metaphor happening out there on the track.
Helsinki, speaking of birds of prey, Helsinki wants to give some love to Kotka, who was injured and watching at home. And Helsinki all has eagle tattoos. Mm-hmm. On their person somewhere, in support of their injured teammate Kotka. Oh, nothing. Our first scoreless. That last set of whistles. Private Stacks, what's going on right now?
It's Mia skating for the Helsinki All-Stars. The arch-rival All-Stars have Bricktator on the line. And they're going to recycle Mia all the way back. She actually goes a little further back to try to pick up some momentum. And that proved to be effective, hitting the line with a ton of speed. The pack was a little thinned out. Zigged and zagged through the pack, no problem. Lead jammer for Mia.
Track hit coming in. That is number 567, Splatter. Oh. A high block on the jammer. That's Bricktator.
Mia was putting up a ton of points even before this became a power jam. Skating with purpose. Tried to keep her skates to the inside. Wasn't quite able to, but gets recycled. And again, knocked to the inside. That was by Ace, I believe.
Forearm penalty sending one of the Helsinki blockers to the penalty box. That's number 51, Alu on the forearm. Let's get those tallies. 8 points on the board for Helsinki, brings them up to 26. No points for Montreal, keeps them at 42.
Mia, I think maybe intended on calling that just a little bit sooner. Maybe trying to lock the arch-rival jammer into the box. Unable to do so, though, so there's going to be 2 jammers at the line for jam number 7, I believe, that's coming up.
All right. Swanson on the jammer line, going up against Barbuka Nutila, and Swanson picking up lead. Did you just do the jammers? Did I just repeat exactly what you said?
Okay. Not this time. It was just a real fast jam with a lot of penalties to call last time.
And Star Pass goes to 77.
Rutsalainen. Helsinki, though, answering back very, very quickly, being able to break out of the pack and holding that score differential to around 20 points.
46-26, 20-point game.
Arch Rival kind of picked up that initial 20 points from that first jam from Bricktator, and then it's more or less been even since then.
All right. Yeah, absolutely. Good point. Loki Doki out there on the jammer line now for Arch Rival, going up against Kuyala.
Sort of the equivalent of an early goal scored in a hockey game, where sometimes you just catch them by surprise, and then since then things have evened off a little bit.
Yeah. Multi-player block coming in. Black 2-3. Is there a black 2-3? There is. That's Thestral. Lead to Loki. Loki is 2 for 2 on the jammer line. However, last time she lost that lead on a back block.
Kuyala forming up with her pack and trying to help out on defensive duties right now.
Multiplayer on the pivot for Helsinki, number 39, Mayurina.
Kuyala pushed out by number 1900, Cloak and Dragger. Kuyala just absolutely having no luck up against Arch Rival on the back stretch here. And Loki Doki puts up another 4 points for Arch Rival.
Some chat going on the stream about how to stream roller derby. If you wanna learn how to stream some roller derby, pay attention to the chat going on. Chad and Beth are going to help you out. Got a high block on the jammer, so second time that that Loki Doki has had lead and lost it.
The first thing you need to know about streaming roller derby is that the internet is a series of tubes. Exactly, and they're clogged. It's not just a truck that you can just dump stuff in.
Code Adam vociferously coaching his team with grand gesticulations and barking. 7 points picked up by Arch Rival brings them up to 53. Helsinki held scoreless. They're sitting on 26, and it is 1 point more than a 2-to-1 ratio. 15 minutes gone by. We are a quarter away through the bout.
Were you like a math kid, Bobby,
I
growing
was
up?
not. I went
You
into
were
the
not?
law because I couldn't do math.
Uh-huh.
So this is all basic math.
I'm
This is
thinking
add,
you're still
addition,
pulling up like
subtract.
percentages and fractions and stuff, and I'm literally anytime I try to calculate a point differential while I'm like announcing a game, I'm like, there's some numbers separating the two teams.
All right, Loki Doki out of the penalty box and into the lead. And jamming for Helsinki, that's Malu. Chad wants to know if anybody's checking my math, and the answer is no. Maybe the folks at home are.
You're just making up numbers.
Forearm penalty sends a Helsinki blocker to the penalty box. We could be making up penalties too.
That's
That's
true.
Latikainen on the forearm.
Yep.
Loki's 3 for 3 getting lead. But
She could just manage to stay out of the box,
Yes.
I was going to say. So far, so good on this jam.
Yep.
Lead jam doesn't mean a ton when you get sent to the box after gaining the advantage.
Well, it does stop the other jammer from getting lead.
That's true. Which is sort of almost could be a stealthy time management trick where if you pick up lead, take the penalty, you rest, and then you tire out another jammer for about 2 minutes.
Oh, there you go.
If you're very, very confident in your blockers, there could almost be a strategy there.
You will have to go back in after 30 seconds.
Right, but you get the 30 seconds to rest.
You do. Interesting. Private Stacks giving free coaching advice
Exactly.
here on Nerd Derby Productions. 2-wall at the top of the pack, effective in forcing Loki Doki to the infield, but not able to take a drawback. We are strung out from the home stretch to the back stretch.
Not going to say not sure where this pack is right now. It's very big.
Pack is all, and it's the first apex. So 4 more points on the board for Arch Rival, brings them up for a total of 12, brings them to 65. And 4 points picked up by Helsinki brings them up to 30.
But yeah, I literally won a provincial math competition, and I could not check your
So
your
it's a
numbers quick
13 to
enough.
6 ratio is what you're saying. Viv Mix-a-Lot. I beat Viv Mix-a-Lot by a fraction of a second. All right, Jedi Nightingale on the line for arch rival, going up against Varpu Kanutila.
One to be in the front of the pack. Spinning, but now defense reforming in front of Jedi Nightingale.
And that was Salakayalainen doing an excellent job of blocking up at the top of the pack and opening up just enough that Varpu Nutila managed to get lead jammer and is now on her scoring pass.
Illegal blocking a down skater. That's signaled as a misconduct. Oh, nope, they changed the signal to it's illegal contact.
Yeah.
He said illegal contact, but he signaled misconduct in the penalty tracker. Let's got the clarification. So lead is lost. Our fourth 2-minute jam of the game. All coming because jammers have lost lead. High block now. So they will get to serve a discounted penalty. Although Varpu was standing in the penalty box, so it'll be 20-some seconds for Jedi.
Sarah Ekholm's head kind of snapping back. That was not the nicest high block. Not that there ever is a nice high block, but
Biff Mix-a-Lot points out that through 10 jams, arch rival has the lead 70% of the time, and Helsinki has the lead 30% of the time.
And Varpu Nutila makes it through on her scoring pass. 4 points. That's 8 points and counting. Once again, cutting into that lead as we approach the 10-minute remaining mark in our first half.
Gets past all 4 of these, and that will tie the high mark for Helsinki. Nice block by number 15. Jam is called.
But 2 more points for Helsinki. That would be 10 points for Varpu and 3 points for arch rival.
Those 10 points representing 25% of Helsinki's score, bringing them up to 40. And 3 points on the board for arch rival brings them to 68. Like to thank Montreal Roller Derby for hosting this marvelous tournament.
You're welcome. As someone from Montreal Roller Derby, I could take full credit for this tournament.
Richly deserved. You did an amazing job. First time in the game that Helsinki has strung 2 leads in a row, with Mia picking up lead.
Mia has been one of the best jammers for Helsinki so far in terms of picking up lead. And
in fact, 3 for 3. And Bricktator is wearing the spangled helmet cover for arch rival. Happy Father's Day to our fathers who are out there listening, or to, if you have a father, call your father, wish him happy Father's Day.
Even if you don't have a biological child, someone wish me a happy Father's Day because I'm a fur father to my dog.
There you go. I have some whistles coming in. I think before I'm thinking there was a penalty before the jam was called off, but it could have just been a flurry of whistles calling off the jam. 8 points on the board for arch rival brings them up to 76. 7 points for Helsinki brings them up to 47.
And now lead down to 29 points.
Nice. 9 minutes and change left to play in the first period. Code Adam goes out to the infield and is immediately sent back to his bench. Oh, I guess we briefly had an official time out there. It escaped my attention, but the clock is frozen at 9:09. Might have been why Code Adam was heading out to the infield. Like, oh, we got an official timeout? You need me? Let's see if there's any adjustment to the score. Score remains 76-47. Clock remains 9 minutes, 9 seconds. And there was no change in personnel in the penalty box, so not quite sure what the official timeout was. Private Stacks, who's jamming?
It's going to be Swanson for arch rival and Kujala for Helsinki. Kujala knocked to the back of the pack and facing an arch rival's tripod. Meanwhile, at the top of the pack, Swanson making it through and already coming around turn 4, crossing the jam line and the pivot line and looking for points. Grabs some points and calls it off very, very quickly.
Ooh, I'm getting no points for Helsinki. There it is, 2 points for arch rival.
4 received 2 on the pass.
78-47.
Helsinki 47, 8 minutes.
Took about a minute off the clock. We're now at 8 minutes and 15 seconds.
And it's going to be, I think, Loki Doki on the line and Yunoki for the Helsinki All-Stars. And with the penalty having expired, both teams are skating 5 aside. Full complement of blockers and pivots out there on the track to help out their jammers. And Yunoki is lead jammer. I think this is her first lead, I believe, of the game.
Yes, and in fact, it's the first jam of the game for
Wow.
Noki. So Noki perfect on the jammer line, 1 for 1. Loki Doki Noki.
There you go.
Okie dokie, we got Loki versus Noki Doki.
That's
Ooh, kilt trip got a blow to the face. Incidental contact. I don't think any penalties are going to be assessed, but kilt trip, one of the inside pack refs, one of the jam refs got a little contact to his face. 3 points for Helsinki, brings them up to 50. Arch rival at 79, but showing 0, so they must have picked up 3 in the last jam. That might have been what the official timeout was.
maybe.
And another official timeout right now with the clock frozen at 7 minutes and 15 seconds left to play.
Please make sure you enjoy those at a time you deem appropriate.
Lightning Slim on the house call, giving a shout out to some of our alcoholic beverage sponsors, but then I think remembering that it's the morning.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's 5 o'clock, for instance, in Helsinki.
If you're watching in Helsinki, it's Father's Day, it's sometime in the afternoon. Absolutely enjoy a delicious adult beverage. What's a popular drink in Helsinki? I don't know.
It's the one that's made with caraway seeds. It's like vodka, but it's I'm blanking on what it's called. Aquavit.
Aquavit?
Yes.
But I thought Aquavit was Swedish?
It's all
Danish?
isn't. Correct me if I'm wrong, Feed, but I think it's a Scandinavian thing.
Well, I've discovered that a lot of the Scandinavian countries have their version of that.
Yes.
And it's always a little different depending on the country.
If you're listening at home, tell us what that drink in Sweden is, in Finland, that we're thinking of is called. And also,
in The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, they drank Aquavit, and that was not Finnish.
Okay. Biff says you put the bottle in the freezer, it won't freeze.
But that's true of a lot of alcohol.
True.
To be fair.
So Helsinki did want to, speaking of the fans back at home in Finland, Helsinki also wanted to give a shout out to their fans back home who are listening to the broadcast. And arch rival wanted to congratulate the St. Louis Blues on their first ever National Hockey League championship.
And I mean, the St. Louis Blues were kind of playing in many ways for Montreal. Because they eliminated the Bruins. Sorry to our New England streaming partners here, but obviously as a Montreal fan, between Boston and Toronto, there's two teams that we typically have huge sports rivalries with, and that even transfers over a little bit into roller derby. There's always a little extra tension whenever Montreal's playing Toronto, whenever Montreal's playing Boston. Those sports rivalries cross over into different sports.
All right, looks like we're getting ready to start up again. Helsinki going to start with 2 in the Restaurant Gus Banque de Pénalité. So a pack advantage to arch rival. Brick Tater is the jammer and picked up lead. Who's jamming for Helsinki?
It's Malou.
Malou. Skip to Malou. Multiplayer block coming in. That is number 1900 for arch rival Cloak and Dragger. Out of play at the front, have to let her go. Initial pass completed by Malou.
And hands up from Brick Tater, waiting just long enough. That's something you obviously want to be doing when you do have the point advantage, is to maybe A, run the clock a little bit, and B, tire out the opponent's jammer just a little bit more.
I tend to agree, but I've seen that backfire. It is too early in the game to eat clock. Who knows when there's going to be a comeback, and you're going to want that clock when they want that time back later on in the game.
Fair enough.
But
Usually that's the thinking.
It is. It is. It's the prevailing thinking, and I got to think if that is the prevailing thinking, that there must be value to it.
Exactly. And right now sitting on a 37-point lead with just over 6 minutes, just under 6 minutes now remaining in the first half.
Kuyala picking up lead over Swanson here in jam number 15.
Sometimes eating the clock and getting to the half is also part of the strategy too, though.
Scoreless.
Yep. Don't see.
Our second scoreless.
Two fists in the air.
And wave them like you just don't care. Hey, we were scoreless in jam number 5. We're scoreless again in jam number 15. Loki Doki out there on the line for arch rival. Hearing Sosis over the PA.
And Varpu Nutila for the Helsinki All-Stars. And Varpu up against that arch rival tripod, getting maybe a little bit of assistance from one of her blockers. That was 51. So I'm not seeing
Alu.
Alu. And Varpu Nutila trying to get knocked to the ends outside, but manages to keep those toe stops inside, dancing along, picks up lead jammer position. Took almost 40 seconds to gain that advantage, but still picks up a back block penalty for all of her troubles. And Varpu Nutila doing some time in the Gus Steakhouse penalty box.
So is lead open?
No, because Varpu was lead.
Varpu was lead, so this is a
Varpu was
2-minute
lead.
jam.
That was on her scoring pass. We're going to see if she picked up any points before the penalty, or if she initiated the penalty immedially upon entering the pack.
Well, and she'll get out because there's 40-some seconds left in the jam. She's already standing. So have a chance to complete that pass. Direction of play penalty coming in. That's number 23 on the black team, Thestral.
And Loki Doki having to work for those 4 points. And Varpu has rejoined the pack, skating backwards and making it through cleanly in the process. Picks up 4 points of her own.
So Helsinki back at full strength. Arch rival soon to be as their blocker is standing in the penalty box. But direction of play coming in, so Helsinki losing a blocker to the box. Turned around so quickly that I didn't get to see the number.
I'm pretty sure that was Alu going into the box.
Skip to Alu. Might be Vega. I think I see 3 digits on the armband, and there are only a couple with 3 digits on that lineup. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. Can you read that armband from here?
Can't. It's like if our camera operator could zoom in on the penalty box, that would be great.
11 points picked up there by Arch, brings them up to 98. They are flirting with the century mark. Helsinki sitting on 54. They picked up 4. Lead again. This is the first time that Helsinki's had 3 leads in a row.
And once again, it's Mia. Mia's been having an excellent first half for Helsinki.
Yeah, Mia perfect from the jammer line. She's 4 for 4. Misconduct is the call. Who's leading on the misconduct? Nobody yet. Oh, it's on the jammer. That misconduct was on the jammer. So, back-to-back 2-minute jams.
And it was Alu in the penalty box, just joining the pack now to help out that thinned-out pack.
I was wrong to ever question you.
It's okay. I have younger set of eyes, Bobby. I do have terrible eyesight, by the way. I'm a -10, -11. I just wear contact lenses.
Out of how many?
Apparently -2 you can't really see.
Oh. Are those diopters? Is that what we're talking about? Is that what
Diopters?
-2 diopters? Is that the unit of measurement?
I don't know.
Dozen points on the board for Arch Rival, brings them up over the century mark there at 110. Apex jump, probably ill-advised, not a lot of room to get around. Force the infield has to go back to turn number 3 to re-engage. Teams at full strength in the narrowest part of the track.
Is it though?
Yeah, turns 2 and 4 are the narrowest parts of the track, aren't they?
It was a normal. I thought it was equidistance between the tape.
No,
all the time.
the ovals are not concentric.
Oh.
Puts the toe stop out of his force.
Learning about geometry also. And you're sure you weren't a math kid?
I did okay. but my joke has always been if I could do math, I wouldn't be a lawyer. 16 points on the board brings arch rival up to 114. 4 points on the board for Helsinki brings them to 58. 11458 sounds like a zip code in upstate New York.
I'll take your word for that. What's a zip code?
Postal code.
There we go. But we have letters in our postal code.
Okay. We got an official review coming in, and it can only be called by arch rival because Helsinki lost theirs earlier.
So you might think it's weird that we have postal codes, but we have this thing where we can send letters to Santa Claus at Christmas, and his postal code is H0H0H0. So you can send letters. You can send letters to it's like Santa Claus, North Pole, HOHOHO. So ho 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 as his postal code, and those letters get to Santa by the magic of the Canadian Postal Service.
It is not this official review. Sorry to change subjects. Get back on Derby.
Really, you don't want to talk about Christmas in June?
Get your shopping done early.
There you go.
I recommend buying some fine gear from Sociopath.
Exactly.
But it is an actual official review. It is not an official review being used as a timeout. The coaches were brought in. A challenge was registered. The officials are conferring about it now. All right. Meanwhile, back at the North Pole.
Exactly. Now there's a couple of postal codes, like vanity postal codes. The Montreal Canadiens postal code is G0H4B5, which is Go Habs.
Yeah.
So yeah. See, we get to play with that. What can you do with the zip code? You can send mail using these postal codes, man.
You can have a TV show called 90210.
Exactly. I guarantee you that is the most used postal code on the internet. Whenever they're like, enter your postal code, everyone just puts in 90210. If you're Canadian, you're like, what postal code do I know?
And then for phone number, do they put 867-5309? Jenny, I got your number.
I know the reference, but I don't think it comes up quite as much as 90210.
Because there's no area code. All right,
you're just so honest.
If you are just tuning in, we are almost done with the first half of Arch Rival versus Helsinki. The Arch Rival All-Stars do not have a dash. The Helsinki All-Stars do.
Arch rival was looking for an insubordination call.
Arch is looking for an insubordination call. But on further review, the no call stands.
They thought a blocker wasn't leaving the track quickly enough.
They thought a blocker didn't leave the track quickly enough.
And it's going to be Swanson for Arch Rival, facing off against Malou for Helsinki.
And who got lead?
It's Swanson.
It is. Star pass already.
Control the flow of play as the clock ticks down on the period.
No star pass. I was mistaken. The cover's just off.
However, Malou recycling Swanson all the way back into the pack. Swanson, I guess, just opting not to call it off. Maybe a statement jam from Swanson and the Arch Rivals, wanting to go into the half on their terms.
Well, both teams are still scoreless. Malou's still on the initial. That was almost a -1 lap for Malou. Is there such a thing as a -1 lap?
Don't think so.
4 points on the board for Swanson.
Ferris Bueller thought that if you ran the car in reverse, you'd be pulling mileage off the odometer, and that didn't work. So I don't think skating backwards gives you negative points.
No, they put time back on the clock. Forearm penalty coming in. Who's leaving on the forearm? And the star has been passed now. That's number 604, Ekholm, with the star.
And that's
second time Ekholm's got the star.
Karjalainen, who was sent to the box.
Sala on the forearm.
Swanson, despite benefiting from lead jammer, taken at least, well, a minute and a half and counting, just 20 seconds left on the jam.
Track cut on bolt action, the arch rival pivot.
Like I said, kind of a statement jam in a way. I think wanting to go into the intermission on your own
Look
terms.
at this. Do the math. Do the math for me.
Oh,
Do the
no.
ratio.
It's a 2 to. I can see it's a 2-to-1 ratio.
True 2-to-1 ratio.
Did it. Fractions.
Woohoo!
The most fun of the maths. I was going to say one of our outside pack refs is Dr. Math. We should maybe check some of these math polls.
So it is halftime. Either team could take an official review in the next 30 seconds, except they don't have one to take.
There you
so
go.
We're going to go into halftime with the score 124-62.
Before we head out to break, we want to give another shout out to our proud sponsor, Sociopath. New England Roller Derby Report would like to thank their production sponsor, Sociopath. Sociopath is a skater-run business offering custom sewn to order legwear for teams and individuals, size-inclusive activewear designed to fit you, whoever you are. Sociopath also offers dozens of armband and helmet cover options for scrimmage and competition. Team discounts are available. Please see sociopath.ca for more details. Sociopath, SEWCIOPATH, and I guarantee you it makes a great Christmas present if you are already shopping for Christmas.
All right, come on back in about 10 minutes. We'll have some statistical analysis and the second half of arch rival Helsinki.
See you then.
À Montréal, Qu'est-ce qui est gros?
Hey Mojo,
Yes.
you know what's big in Montreal?
What's big in Montreal?
Hey Booby, what's big in Montreal?
What's big in Montreal? Another thing that's big in Montreal? Ben, la communauté de Français.
Ouais, puis un peu tout le monde a pris une poutine. Hein.
Ouais.
Oh, what? The accent.
Mais là, c'est pas si pire que ça.
Pas un char, fait que décalisse de la rue. Va te promener dans le chat, si. Va à Saint-Tite, tabarnak, c'est voleur de job de calice.
Céline Dion.
pas carré!